Thank you so much for the warm welcome. My name is Christina Virostek, and I'm head of real estate solutions at Dataplor, the leading provider of global location intelligence. And I'm joined here today by one of our absolute favorite clients, Julien LeBrun, who serves as network planning manager for FLO EV Charging. And we are both extremely excited to be here with you all today in New York City, which is arguably one of the greatest culinary meccas in the world. Now, why do we think New York City is home to so many transcendent dining experiences? Well, I'm a data person, and what I know about data, I have a theory about this, and that theory centers around ingredients. Because to make something truly delicious, powerful, memorable, each element or ingredient must be high quality. If they aren't, the resulting dish, it might be lackluster, but at the far end of the spectrum, using stale, expired ingredients can make you quite sick. And depending on how sick you become, that can, of course, have a significant financial and material impact. Now, during my time here at Dataplor over the past 2.5 years, I've been able to witness firsthand the negative effects of using poor foundational data ingredients. And the unfortunate reality is when it comes to point of interest data, there's a lot of very bad, very misleading data out there, which is why Dataplor has purpose-built processes and tools to capture and deliver the most accurate source of ground truth available on the market today. Now, when Julien came to us, he was what I would consider to be in dire need of better data ingredients. Sorry, Julien. But 78% of the data from his previous provider was inaccurate. It was riddled with duplicates, lacked naming and address standardization, and even contained places that he knew had closed during his childhood years, yet were still marked open and active in the data set. Now, this data isn't perfect, of course, but to Dataplor, that's unacceptable, which is why we've chosen to approach location data differently, and FLO recognized that. So I will now turn it over to Julien so that he can share more about the exciting things FLO has been able to cook up through better data ingredients right here in New York City and beyond. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Christina. Really happy to be here on stage. So, as you said, my name is Julien. I'm part of the network planning team at FLO EV Charging. Our mission is to help overcome climate change and accelerate electric vehicle adoption by providing the best EV charging experience. To put our work into perspective, we are the #1 network in Canada, and we have more than 90,000 public EV chargers across North America. You might have seen our chargers right here, curbside in New York City, in LA, where we have more than 500 curbside chargers, and coming soon to the streets of Boston and Cleveland. As I mentioned earlier, our goal is to provide the best EV charging experience, and this involves both a great product, which is our hardware manufactured in Michigan and in Canada, and great locations. The network planning team is responsible for selecting the sites where we deploy and operate our own DC fast chargers. So obviously, charger placement is a location problem, where we must answer seemingly simple questions like, where should we place chargers? Where do people need to charge? Where do people want to charge? All seemingly simple questions, but in reality, much more complex. We need to place them in the best areas so that they generate the maximum utilization, and we need to provide the right number of ports so that we can meet demand accurately and avoid long lines waiting. So obviously, to help us make all of these decisions, we rely on geospatial technologies, and we have built some tools to support us. One of our tools is our predictive model, which for any location will give us the predicted utilization from a charging station. This model is trained on our historical data from our extensive network of chargers, and we enhance it with geospatial features with things like demographics, traffic, nearby competitors, the number of EVs in operations, and obviously the points of interest. This tool alone is very good, but not enough for all of our use cases. What we found out is that some chargers may perform very well, not because they are located in the best areas, but simply because they are the absolutely only option available in a given area. And what worked well with the early adopters of EVs won't necessarily perform as well as we transition to mass adoption and as the market gets a lot more competitive. We also needed a tool that allowed us to be a lot more proactive and actively look out the best locations instead of relying on incoming leads and addresses that come in to us. We also have to answer to RFP programs or incentive programs like NEVI here in the US, where we have to figure out what are the best locations, but within very specific boundaries for that program. We need to be able to rapidly identify those locations, find the site hosts that can accommodate our deployment, and go and secure those locations. This is why we built our suitability score. It relies on points of interest as a foundation to find all possible locations where we can deploy fast chargers. And just like our model, it is enriched using demographics, traffic patterns, neighboring points of interest, competitor sites or other charger available, and EVs in operation. All of this data is aggregated to H3 cells, obviously at level 8, and we calculate a series of score at different local, regional, and national scales to find out the best areas, whatever that universe we're trying to find out best sites is. So what makes a good location? How can we define that? A good location is modeled for us as a Huff's gravity score. We see that a good location is based on factors relevant to the installation itself and our product offering, like the visibility of the site, the safety, the charging speeds, the number of ports available, the pricing, the historical reliability of the charger and of the network, and the location and the surrounding amenities. Once we have identified the most favorable areas, we can extract the best places within these areas and send that information to our site acquisition team. This is where our partnership with Dataplor began. When we started out, we had another commercial data provider, as Christina mentioned, but we really faced a textbook case of poor data quality. Much of the data was inaccurate, and I had to spend some time trying to fix it, and I really insist on trying. Even then, we did not have the best quality, and I still couldn't resolve the issues about the missing data. So when I reached out to Christina and the Dataplor team, I was impressed by the quality of the data, but also just the level of partnership we've been able to establish with them, working on our use cases with their data. Now, using their data alone, we can provide incredible information to our site acquisition team, which saves us a lot of time in identifying the best locations across North America. And this is really where I want to insist on sort of the power of data. I live in an area, we need to plan for whole of North America, and the data alone gives us the ability to have some sense of local knowledge of knowing where are the best places in a given area that I've never visited and I will probably never visit. So the data alone gives us that sense of local knowledge so we can build our network. So as EV adoption accelerates, our agility in strategic charger placement becomes crucial. We're dedicated to evolving our models and embracing new data to stay at the forefront. Each efficiently placed charger brings us closer to a more sustainable future. Through spatial data science, we're not just expanding a charging network, we're building the way for a cleaner world. So thank you for your attention, and I look forward to witnessing how spatial data science continues to drive us towards that infinite horizon of possibilities. Thank you.